buy a rather large, rather luxurious sedan from the Toyota family, you pretty much have two choices of vehicle. One is the Toyota Avalon, but the other one is right there. It's the 2019 Lexus ES. And in this video, we're gonna find out which one is better. I think we should start by comparing the styling between the Avalon and the Lexus ES. And of course, this being the 2019 Lexus ES, it's the first ES to have the F Sport trim available, which is the one that we have right here. When you get the F Sport trim, you get this fancy, sporty black grille with a bunch of little diamondy patterns going on in the front. You get F Sport badges throughout, special 19-inch alloy wheels, and a little deck lid spoiler on the back. Styling is always a personal choice though, so you guys will have to drop a comment down below and tell us which one you think looks better between the Avalon and the ES. I think some of you will think that the grille on the Avalon is maybe a little bit large, but then again, you might be thinking the same exact thing about the grille here on the Lexus ES. Lift up the hood of a Lexus ES and the hood of a Toyota Avalon, and you will find two nearly identical power plants. Both of them are offered with a 3.5 liter naturally aspirated V6 engine, except Lexus has massaged their engine a little bit more, so it makes one more horsepower than the Avalon. This makes 302 horsepower and 267 pound-feet of torque, same as the Avalon on the torque figure. Both cars also use an 8-speed automatic transmission to send that power to the front wheels only. Much like the Avalon, the ES is also available with a hybrid powertrain. It uses a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated combined with an electric motor that produces a total output of 215 horsepower if you'd like to go the fuel economic route. Speaking of fuel economy, this 3.5 liter V6 makes actually the same EPA rated fuel economy in both the ES and in the Toyota Avalon, 22 mpg in the city and 31 mpg on the highway. If you guys didn't already know, you should probably know that the Lexus ES and the Toyota Avalon are both built on the same exact platform. It's what's called the Toyota New Global Architecture, TNGA-K platform. Underneath, the Avalon and the Lexus ES share a lot of components. As a result, they both drive very similarly. You're kind of splitting hairs to say which one is better or worse. This is, like I mentioned a few times now, the F Sport trim. And what the F Sport trim gets you, aside from some appearance bits, is actually a little bit of suspension tuning. So it has sport-tuned McPherson strut front suspension and sport-tuned multi-link rear suspension. And as a result, the ride in this F Sport Lexus ES is a hair stiffer than in the Touring trim of the Toyota Avalon. This could be because the Avalon Touring comes standard with adaptive dampers. Now those adaptive dampers are available on the Lexus ES F Sport, however our tester does not have them. Otherwise though, it's largely the same exact experience. They're both front wheel drive, they both have an 8-speed automatic transmission which is very smooth, and the ride in both of them is actually really comfortable. What about utility? Well, the ES has an ever so slightly larger trunk. This has 16.9 cubic feet of space in the trunk area, whereas the Avalon has 16.07 cubic feet of trunk space. Usually you expect the button to be like right underneath the badge, but no, there's a camera right there. And just to the sides of the camera, there's some lights for the license plate. Then move out even further and there's like a keyhole down on the left side. And then eventually you find the button that releases the trunk. Now, fortunately, when you do find that, it opens automatically for you, which is all very nice. And then you're greeted with a rather massive trunk back here. To show you exactly how large this trunk is, I will go ahead and climb into the trunk, which I actually think will be relatively comfortable compared to some trunks that I end up squeezing myself into. Now, sometimes it's, you gotta find the right angle here, which is always fun. Yeah. Yeah. See, the cool part this time, Ian, look at that. Okay, I'm in. Now, gotta hit the button up here. Yeah, you did it. Oh, my knee. Ah! It even soft touch closes. So, of course, the other half of utility is how spacious the interior is, and I'm happy to say that both the Avalon and the ES are very spacious inside. The Lexus is about a ½ an inch taller overall than the Avalon, and as a result, while headroom is very good, I'm 6'2", this seat is adjusted to where I would be sitting. I have legroom, I have headroom, there's this big old armrest that I can fold down with some cup holders that are also red, by the way. And yeah, the back seat is very spacious, very comfortable. As the back is comfortable and spacious, so is the front. I mean, there's tons of room up here, plenty of shoulder room. If anything, I do feel like I'm sitting a little high up in the front seat. This one is as low down as it'll go right now. Could be because of this little sunroof right here. Those do always take away a little bit of headspace. What I really like about the interior, especially up here in the front seat of the Lexus ES, is just how driver-centric it is. I mean, you have this steering wheel that looks really sporty up here, a very focused gauge cluster, these really cool little knobbies right here. It all feels like it's focused towards the driver and the driver's comfort. A big part of this decision on whether or not the ES is better than the Avalon will have to come down to pricing, because as you guys might expect, the Lexus is a little bit more expensive than the Toyota is. So the Avalon starts at about $35,500 for the most basic trim, whereas the base ES starts at about $39,000. And the ES actually has a wider range of prices too, because fully loaded, one of these Lexus ES sedans will cost you as much as around $55,000 US, whereas the Avalon really only goes up to about $45,000. This is once again the F Sport trim, which starts in the low $40,000 range, but ours has quite a few options, and the as tested price for this Lexus ES is about $50,000, actually just a hair above 50 grand. So on average, depending on trim level, you're looking at a price difference of about $5,000 from the Avalon to the ES. If you're trying to determine whether or not the price jump between the Avalon and the ES is actually worth it, we'll take a look inside the interior. The quality feel inside the Lexus is much higher than it is in the Avalon. Now don't get me wrong, the Avalon is still a very luxurious vehicle, still a very nice place to be, but you can just tell that the materials here inside the ES are a step above that in the Avalon. Here's a piece of Lexus luxury. The windows, when you roll them down or up, will actually slow themselves down just before they get to the stops, so it doesn't make as loud of a noise when it gets to the bottom or the top. Check it out. Tucked behind this Lexus badge right here is a bunch of radar equipment, and up in the windshield there's some camera equipment that are all a part of Lexus's standard driver safety and enhancement suite called Lexus Safety System 2.0. Now, if that sounds familiar, it's because Toyota has a very similar system called Toyota Safety Sense. However, the Avalon has a slightly older version of Toyota Safety Sense than this Lexus's Lexus Safety System 2.0. What you get with Lexus Safety System 2.0 is adaptive cruise control, automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, road sign detection, and automatic high beams. The Avalon system is very similar, but it doesn't have lane keep assist, only lane departure alert, and it also doesn't have road sign recognition. So in terms of driver safety and enhancement tech, the Lexus does have a little bit more standard equipment. The Lexus has this really large 12.3-inch infotainment display, but it's not a touchscreen. You have to use Lexus's little touch trackpad down by the gear lever, and frankly, I have a hard time making this system work very well. It feels really awkward to me, and I don't like how you have to use it, and I wish it were a touchscreen, although the screen's very far away from you. Now, if you hop in the Avalon, by contrast, that has a 9-inch touchscreen infotainment display that I think is a much better system. Regardless of which one you get, both of them do have Apple CarPlay connectivity. I can go to the menu here and you can see there's a button for projection, which lets you use Apple CarPlay. Sadly, neither of them have Android Auto. So is the Lexus ES better than the Toyota Avalon? Well, I think it's really a personal choice. I mean, the Lexus is more expensive, but it's also got more standard tech and a much more luxurious interior. So I guess it depends on what you're looking for. If you want something that's a little less expensive but still gives you the luxury feel, then I'd say the Avalon is probably the way to go. But if you like the Lexus badge, if you like all the luxury materials and features that come on the ES, then it's probably best to just go for the Lexus ES. If it were my money, I'd go with the Avalon. Overall, the driving experience is just as nice, and I don't need the more upscale interior in the Lexus. I'll save the $5,000 difference in price and go for the Avalon Touring instead. For the Fastlane Car, I'm Mike Curtis. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please drop a comment down below. Tell us which of the Avalon or the ES you think is better and which one you would go and buy if it were your money. And be sure to come back to TFLcar.com. See you guys next time.